Okay, looks like we are live. Looks like we are live. There we go. The chat is loading up. What's happening, beautiful people? What is happening, beautiful people? Share this across the globe. All across the globe, all across the globe.
Stop fighting your blemishes. Start working with your skin with a 3-step routine and 3 powerful ingredients for visibly clearer skin in 7 days. The cleanser purifies pores.
Let's check in. No one in yet. Okay.
Stop fighting your blemishes. Start working with your skin with a 3-step routine and 3 powerful ingredients for visibly
Who's
clearer
watching?
skin in 7 days.
Who's watching? But in any case, yeah, come on in. Hey, please call me coach, my brother. Please call me coach. Hey, the doctor thing, eh? The doctor thing. Hey, it's funny that you asked. I'm actually going live on YouTube right now, talking about penis enlargement. So tap in. So I'm talking about penis enlargements on my YouTube channel. Check out the link right there.
Exfoliator reduces blemishes overnight.
I have to do what's happening, Mr. Prod. Let me quickly make a quick TikTok video. Just a quick TikTok video. Flip the camera. Ayo, so I'm talking penis enlargements. Just looking at some research, some data. You make the decision. Are you coming through? I'm live on. Hey, no, wait. Doing this whole thing. Yo, so we're talking penis. Ugh, Modim. Yo, so we're talking penis enlargement on YouTube right now. So if you want to learn more about what options I found and the risks that come with them and everything, basically, you take that information, you do what you will with it. But tap in. Okay.
Stop fighting your blemishes.
Okay. Cool. So, I'm just gonna let it just simmer down, Hanyan. I'm just gonna let it simmer down. Allow whoever comes in. If it's just 4 of you, 4 people, then it's cool. We'll keep it moving. If you can, give the stream a like, give the live a like. That way you can reach more people. And say hi in the chat. Who do I have here today? We have Prodza. What's good, my brother or sister? I'm not sure. So I got hit with a ban on TikTok. So yeah, I'm only getting my access back on TikTok. When? I think I'm gonna get my access back on Saturday. Saturday afternoon, I'll have my access back. Until then, but I think even I wanna see this live, this YouTube, and also just go live on other platforms, like Instagram. You know, YouTube more especially because it can be monetized. But yeah, but I do understand TikTok is a whole learner, so I do not want to not have it also. So yeah, and it is convenient for a lot of people. So for now, just give it one more minute for the guys to come on in. I see we're up on 6 right now. So yeah, we will get started shortly. Am I coming through clearly? Just type in a 1 in the chat if I'm clearly. So we can get in this work. We can get work. Okay. This thing. Okay, there we go. Okay. You crossed that. So Dumelang, good day to everybody that just tapped in today's stream or today's live. Today we are tapping into a subject that a lot of guys have reached out to me about, and that is penis enlargement. You know, increasing the size of your penis. Sure, it's a very sensitive topic for a lot of guys, but let's talk about it. Let's really talk about it, you know. And I think it wouldn't be right to start the conversation if we didn't actually talk about sizes. And you know, this is now measured by health professionals. I have the document with the links to the actual articles. So I will share this in the men's group. I will share this with the gents in the men's group. And yeah. So let me see. So I think let me start with my journey, right? You know, like I grew up as a very sexual child. Not sexual in the sense of how much I'm fucking everyone and anything, but in the sense of I was very curious about sex, and I started having erections at a very young age, and it fascinated me to no end. It fascinated me to no end. So as I grew up, I thought like my dick bigger, and you know, like going to like swimming classes or whatever, you know, in the locker rooms or change rooms, and you know, in primary, it's like, you know, everyone is getting undressed, and then all of a Sunday, um, you see, man, something is up here. Something is up. Like, why is this guy's penis like way bigger than I? You know, that's before we knew about, you know, growers and all of that, you know. And at that time, it wasn't such a big thing because it was just in that thing. So okay, so mine is smaller than yours, and niggas will wild out, just like ha ha ha, I got a big dick. It's like, okay, cool. Now, I think that's the beginning for some people, but for me, but it was like just a little seed. And then I started getting into watching porn. And I think that's when I was basically watering the seed of insecurity about my own penis size. And with watching porn and watching it a lot, it basically made me see my penis size as small. Like I thought my dick was small. I really thought my dick was small. But it turns out I'm actually on a little long end. I might not have girth, a lot of girth, but I do have like good length. But you know, but before that, I seeked help. And I was still in high school at that time, and started having sex, and I was sincerely worried about my dick size. Like, yo, I'm not big enough. I avoided sex. I had sex when I was 16. First had sex when I was 16, but I avoided it merely because of small, right? And like I would get into relationships because I like girls. They know because I would get into relationships, and it would become sexual, and but I wouldn't perform as confidently because I felt like I'm not, like I didn't have as much confidence. So energy is a big thing when in the bedroom. If I don't come with big dog energy in the bedroom, then the woman that I'm with cannot really trust me with her body 100%. She cannot feel comfortable 100% with trusting me with her body because I don't feel 100% with myself. You know what I mean? And they catch on to these things. But in any case, let's keep it moving. So I tried on a couple of things. So I went to a traditional healer, and they were like, you know what, there are a couple options. It's like the only option that will probably work for you is this jalo, right? But she warned me about this jalo. There's a guy, I think at that time, because there's a guy at that time who made headlines, I think, on dailies or something. And this guy's dick had grown so big he had to carry his dick wheelbarrow, And she was like, yo, do you see that story? I was like, yeah, I see that story. It's like, yeah. So basically what happened is that man ushapile into yasijalo, and you saw it work, but something happened and the penis didn't stop growing. It just kept growing and kept growing and kept growing and kept growing. I was like, damn. It's like, yeah, so there is a chance that because this jalo, you have to bury it. There's a chance that what if it gets dug out by a dog? You know what I mean? It gets dug out by a dog or something happens in it. But Strata Sakha, since it's just in and it continues to grow somewhere else. You feel me? So yeah, I was like, okay, cool. Okay. And then she gave me Imbiza. And she was like, with this Imbiza, I tell you, like any girl you touch, any girl you fucks with, they will turn up for you. They will turn up, stove on 100, stove on 100. I don't know if that was true or she was just hyping me up because the whole mental thing, the mental affects the energy thing. And if I'm feeling like a big dog, I'm gonna perform like a big dog. So I used it, a little confidence until I started having sex more, and like I was okay. Now I will fast forward a bit. Um, my only thing, which like in high school, is that my penis, like when I put on a condom, it didn't fit 100%. However, as I hit, I think my 2021, and then only then I started seeing my condoms actually fitting me properly. And I think that could have been because of that could have been because of I was putting in work, I was having sex, I was using my penis. So it actually grew a bit, Um, so with time, like the growth thing, kind of stopped, or at least I didn't notice. And I tried a couple of things. I tried some creams that I bought from pharmacists and from people that sell herb. Tried the creams, didn't work, left it. It's like, okay, that doesn't work. And I went it with the mentality of, let me just see, because they always like, yeah, but believe. I was like, man, when something works, it works. Like when something works, it works. Like, let's stop the bullshit of, I'm not even buying this. I wouldn't, if I was skeptical, I wouldn't buy it. I'm buying it because I want to see something. So if I'm coming in with a neutral mindset, this thing, if it works, it'll work. It's like, yeah, I bought it. All of them flukes. Every single cream that I've bought as a penis and enlarger, it's it was a waste of time for me. And then I got into getting like powder, like a powder in. Tried supplements, herbal supplements, didn't work. And then I just stopped. I just left that thing alone. I was like, let me just accept my penis for what it is, and use it. And then I started learning more about sex and tantra and all of these things, that eventually, like everything that's happened has led to where I am. To me being able to sit in front of you guys right now and talk about this has led exactly to where I am right now. Like shit in the bedroom, like I know how to handle things. I know how to handle business, so penis size isn't a thing for me anymore in that sense. However, I did want to try out like a penis pump just for giggles, just for shits and giggles, because like the thing, I hardly use my entire penis, so why would I want to? But I want to do it just to see because people have been asking about that. And I think that's the one thing that I haven't tried fully, to be able to come back and say, nah, this shit doesn't work, right? So we're going to be looking at everything today, everything that I at least found on the internet. And hopefully from this, you guys can take this information and do what you will with it. So let's first start with understanding penis size. What's average and what's large. So penis size measured by health professionals is 13.7 centimeters, 13.12 centimeters when it is erect. And the girth of the circumference is 11,666 centimeters. And I think like measuring it around, right? If you just take a piece of tape and basically measure it from, yeah. And then the flaccid length is 9 centimeters, and the flaccid girth is also 9 centimeters. Now, these measurements are based on comprehensive study involving 15,000 men, where measurements were taken by health professionals. Now, let's go with perception of size, right? So what is perceived as small is anything less than 10 centimeters. What is perceived as average is anything that's between 10 to 15 centimeters. And what is perceived as large is something that is more than 15 centimeters. And, like perception can vary with cultures and visually. Like if I go to China, and they say that Chinese have small dicks. If I go to China and I have an average dick, like, hey, it turns out in China I'm a big dick nigga, so perceptions do vary with cultures. So yeah. So let's keep it moving. So let's start with herbal supplements, right? That enhance sexual health. So we have Tongkat Ali, right? Which is basically which I think I would say read up on it. But I think one of the main benefits of Tongkat Ali is basically its increasing of the testosterone levels. and also improves erectile function. So, the better the erection, the bigger your dick can get. If you're stretching it out with just sheer erections, I think you can get some type of traction, much like because it is a muscle or it has muscle tissue. So Tongkat Hadi has been said to improve or increase the penis size. I think it's mainly because of blood flow and also the increase of testosterone in itself. And then evidence. So some studies suggest improvements in erectile functions amongst men with mild to moderate erectile dysfunction. And then we have conch badge. With this herb, this is the first time actually, reading up on this herb. It contains L-dopa, which may enhance dopamine levels, potentially improving libido and testosterone production. So this is used in Ayurvedic medicine for sexual health. However, clinical evidence is limited. And then we have Seft Musli, and this is traditionally used to enhance sexual performance and vitality also. Limited scientific studies, more research is needed to confirm efficacy. And then you have your hembe, which is something that can improve your erectile dysfunction by increasing blood flow. So some studies support its use for erectile dysfunction, but it can have side effects like increased heart rate and blood pressure. So you can go ahead and look up these herbs, but I would say Tongkat is the one that I've seen and I've heard and I've read about the most, as opposed to these other ones. Yohimba I've heard about, but yeah, it's beneficial. Get this and just do your own research. But seemingly, I think the function of increasing testosterone and blood flow is what's going to drive penis size in a sense, right? So let me see. Let me make sure that I haven't skipped anything. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, one thing before I carry on, right? I think it's good to also mention that most vaginas fit with most penises. Let me just say that and move on. So we have medical and surgical interventions, right? So we have penile traction devices, which is basically a mechanism that applies continuous tension to the penis over an extended period. Its effectiveness, so some studies indicate a modest increase in length with consistent use over several months. Now, the risks are that potential for discomfort, skin irritation, and temporary numbness, right? I can imagine, because if you have your penis under pressure like that for an extended period of time, it could do some damage, right? Because if it is made for use when erect rather than made for use when it is flaccid meaning erect. I don't know, but I'm not a doctor. So, and then we have the manual exercises, right? So this involves repetitive stretching and massaging techniques to increase blood flow. Now, this is a very popular one by Qigong masters or practitioners or the Taoist practitioners. So this is guys in China. China, they love this exercise. They recommend, just stretching it out. And I think it's a very good practice in itself. If you did this over an extended period of time and you were consistent, would you see an increase in penis size? Try it out and let us know. I haven't been consistent with it. I do it, I think, once or twice in a week. Sometimes I'll skip a month and not doing it. So something that you can do. So effectiveness is that it lacks scientific validation. A doctoral report exists. Risks possible tissue damage, scarring, and decrease sensitivity via you continually applying the stroke to your penis, and you're also trying to keep yourself from getting an erection. So you do build up or what you call this, you do decrease your sensitivity over time, but I think it's more mental more than anything else. But yeah, Another way you can do this is through the vacuum erection devices. So vacuum erection devices being your pumps, your penis pumps. So these create a vacuum to draw blood into the penis, leading to temporary enlargement. Now, effectiveness is that it's primarily used for erectile dysfunction. Any size increase is typically temporary, but I do see in different types of communities and channels and guys, it's like, and a couple of doctors that say that over time, if you use this continuously over time, you will be able to gain the size permanently. Some of it, not all of it completely, but as you keep working on it, keep using it, you will be able to gain substantial amount of length and girth. And then the risks, there's a risk of bruising, numbness, and potential tissue damage if it is misused. If it is misused, right? So be careful with that. Be careful. I don't think there's anything that doesn't have a risk, but yeah. So surgical methods. So suspensory lingam release, which may increase the flaccid length. So basically what this is like you have you have a portion of your penis that's lodged inside of you. So with this is basically they are bringing it forth. You see that one. So let's see. The risk includes scarring and instability during erection, because the reason why you have that penis inside of you, or some of that penis tissue inside, is that for it to hold an actual like these staples just hold. But now if you bring that forth, so it's like you must think of it as gel balance. It keeps balance. So if you bring it forth, there won't be a lot of balance, right? You'll have an erection, but I think your erections will be like pointing down. You won't be able to have an erection like this because you are basically pulling your penis forward. And then you have your dermal fillers and fat grafting. So basically, injecting substances to increase the girth. Temporary results, multiple sessions may be needed, and the risks include lumps and asymmetry, meaning that your PP is lose shape, your penis is going to lose shape. And then you have penile implants, which is your like your penuma, which is basically surgical insertions of a silicone implant to enhance your size, which can increase both the length and the girth. And the risks include infection and implant rejection. Because at the end of the day, when you're putting in like a silicone implant into your body, because there are supposed to be certain tissues in that certain area where they are implanted, your body starts to reject it. Like, what the hell is this, right? So that's something to look out for. So let's look at the psychological and social considerations as far as penis, right? Penis size. So many men seeking enlargement have actually have average size penis, but they perceive them as inadequate. And then it goes on to say that through counseling, psychological support can address underlying self-esteem issues and may be beneficial before pursuing physical interactions, right? So also informed decision making. So just going through this video and going through this information, being able to take that, go and do the research, go and experiment yourself, and knowing all of the risks is very important, so that you don't come back and blame and point fingers and like, you did this, but it's your journey. It really is your journey, right? But yeah, and then so as a final thought, you want to approach this information with caution. You want to weigh the risks versus the benefits, and I'd say get yourself professional consultation. While various methods claim to enhance the penis, it's essential to approach them with caution and critical evaluation. Non-surgical options may offer modest improvements with fewer risks, whereas surgical methods carry a significant potential significant potential complications. So consulting with qualified healthcare professionals and considering psychological support can provide a comprehensive approach to addressing the concerns about penis size. But yeah. And that's all, ladies and gentlemen. That's all, ladies and gentlemen, that I have for you as far as penis size is concerned. It's not a lot, but it is a lot of something at the same time. I think because I know there's a lot of guys that think that they have a small penis. Being one of those guys, I used to think that I had a small penis until it turns out, actually, no, you don't. Actually, no, you don't. But it's just one of those things. The whole if you really do have a small penis and it is a problem to your sex life for you, then do address it. Do take actions, and just know that there are drawbacks to everything. So when you take your actions, just measure out your risk, your reward, and do what it does. Do what it does. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is. That's just like the whole human condition, right? That's just the whole human condition. But with that said, I think we can close it down. If anyone has questions put them in the chat. Put them in the chat if you got questions. If you got questions. If you got questions. If you got questions. No, it can't be. Why? Why asking? So someone in the chat, in the group, are the side effects on the penis enlargement? Hey, my brother. So you want to check out the live that I'm doing right now? I will share the document. Like I've said, like I'm not an expert with penis enlargement. I don't even consult on penis enlargement, but because a lot of people come to me and ask me about it, I do some research about it and then talk on my experience. But in general, you want to be able to do your own research and do the due diligence because it is a decision that can affect you in the long run. So we want to be able to have as much information as possible, and that's what I was doing with today's live. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question. With that said, do your own research, guys. Do your own research when it comes to this. Look into different types of pumps. Look into the surgical methods if you want to go down that route. Find testimonials. Find people who have gone through the same thing. That way you can have as much information as possible, but also at the same time, you do not want to get stuck with analysis paralysis where you end up not making a decision. And at the same time, you want to work on your mentality and you make sure where you know deep down that there is nothing wrong with you. And with that said, my beautiful people, I have to call it a night. Seeing there's no questions, so I will share this in the men's group. So if you are not in the men's group, I don't know what you're doing, but definitely tap into the chance group. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Get it right, though. Don't forget to give the live a like.